I'd like to call the town board meeting of the town of Lake Mills to order on May 9th, 2017 at 8 p.m. The notice was posted in the town, at the town hall, the North End Boat Launch, the cul-de-sac on Finch Brothers Road, and also on the town's website. If you are not a subscriber to the town's website, it would be in your best interest if you were to go to that site and become a subscriber. Lots of information available there. Silly questions could be answered very speedily. Item 2, the adoption of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt May's agenda as printed.
I'll second.
All right, is there any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the agenda as published, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, the same sign.
What are the items under the new business?
There's agendas up here on the podium if you'd like to see them.
Item 3, approval of the minutes from our April meeting, not the annual meeting, just the regular town board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any question? I looked on the town's website and I didn't see the minutes posted from the last month's meeting, and I don't know what they are. So I don't know what's being approved, but I'm here because I'm concerned about something that I think is in those minutes.
Okay,
Is there a copy of the minutes from the last meeting?
I had something too, Sarah.
Okay. I don't
Here.
usually put them up until they get approved.
Yeah, we don't usually post them until they're approved, but why don't you take some time and look at it? Let's go forward and do the treasurer's report and then go back to this agenda item.
Thank you.
We don't have a motion on the floor, so we'll go to item 4 and go back to item 3. Approval of the treasurer's report for May. I would motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the treasurer's report as published, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, same sign. Report is approved. Approval of the general funding vouching.
I'll make a motion to approve the disbursements for May of $95,698.63.
And I'll second that. Is there any discussion on the disbursements?
A question on Brick Street Enterprises, is that somebody new?
That's my new
I picked that up.
corporation.
I picked that out too. I just,
I just gave Sarah the paperwork, so that's, and I am still your maintenance supervisor.
Okay, good to know.
And I'll have you know that the windows are sparkling clean, and I did spray all those weeds around the building this afternoon. So.
and congratulations. Now, is this something you retired into?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the general funding vouching, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. Okay. Now, let's go back to item 3, the approval of the minutes. Have you had time to study? So I would make a motion to approve the minutes as published. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Now is the time for discussion, and if you have questions,
Did you say that you found something?
I can't remember this word, but I don't have it in front of me anymore.
My name is Stephen Weber. I'm the owner of 388 Sandy Beach Road. I'm here because I'd like to contest the decision of April 18th to approve the motion in part 8. Oh, I'm sorry, 9, old business 9A, where the board approved the motion to allow the Pilot Association the right to build a new marina on that lot. I had submitted a letter to the board yesterday concerning this, and I would like that letter considered by the board at this meeting as it relates to approving this application?
Well, since we don't really have that on our agenda for discussion at this meeting, I think that you should bring that up during item 7, the period of public comment and questions. So that'll give you a few more minutes to study our monthly board minutes. It seemed to me there was a word in here I was having a hard time.
May I ask if you received the letter?
I did, and I responded to your email. I received it today when I was going through to find extra correspondence.
I didn't see any correspondence, but I didn't see the letter, so my attorney did.
I replied all.
Okay.
It is in correspondence.
I can't remember where it was. Does that work for you, though? Then we go to the public comment part of our meeting, and you can bring up your concerns there. So, the minutes are approved.
No, you have to
Now you have to
vote.
vote.
All in favor of approving the minutes as published, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, the same sign. Minutes are approved. Item 6, reports. A, the police report. Matt.
We had 16 and a half hours of road patrol, 3 hours of radar this in April, handled 3 complaints, issued 8 citations, 1 warning. So slow month, obviously, we've been gearing up, we're interviews and other things during the April month to try to get you guys on board for the boat. The boat was put on the lift today, and it's operational, it's ready to run. It will be going out for the first time on patrol on the 13th of May, and then start getting into the weekends, obviously, from there. PWC was taken out of Rob's today. Motorsports in Johnson's Creek to be set up for running. Other than that, it's been pretty peaceful.
Thank you, Matt. Anybody have any questions or concerns for Matt? Moving on to the Joint Rock Lake Committee report. I have a letter here that was dated April 20th. It is from the Joint Rock Lake Committee to Councilperson Doug Fritsch. It just is a letter saying that the city and town ordinances have been looked at, and the Joint Rock Lake Committee was asked to do a little research to see what the differences were between the city's ordinance on waters of Rock Lake and the ice driving ordinance. And they have done so, looked at both these ordinances, and are asking the city to coordinate with us to develop these 2 ordinances so that they mirror each other in the city and in the town. I guess we'll wait and see where this goes, but they are doing some work to encourage them. Other than that, don't know, those guys all went to the lake convention. I saw there was a check in there. Other than that, I don't know. The Planning Commission.
We did not meet on May 2nd. Next meeting will be June 6th.
Okay. Any other committee reports? How's,
I got also today, got an email from John Purr, working on those walking trails. And they have some dollars to go with the items that they're looking for now, so, I don't know really how to proceed with that one.
what's he got?
He has,
A trail marking kit for $498. Holy mackerel. 2 extra sheets of decals. Whoa. Well, I guess it's time that I meet with him and figure out what he's going to do.
okay.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Think that's a little over the top,
Yeah.
don't you?
I'd kind of
Wanna
like to
look
know
at
how
that?
much the association can chip in too, really.
So, costs to both for signage. Again, we were hiking on the Ice Age Trail, and their only marking is a little yellow rectangle. Don't think that could cost $400 some. Okay, Item 7, a period of public comment and questions. This is for anything that is not on our agenda and for discussion tonight only. So I know that there are 2 of you here that would like to speak, so would you take the podium, tell us who you are, and state your case? Whoever you'd like to go first.
My name is Lori Peters. I live on Park Lane Road. I moved here a year ago, and I have to say I love it. I tell people I'm living in Mayberry, and that, to me, that's a compliment. The issue that I have, well, I had 2. Hope, God bless her, already fixed one. Park Lane Road is a one-way, and I had people barreling in the wrong way, and I'm sit right there on the point, and they come flying in the wrong way all day long. Well, Hope arranged it so now there's one-way signs you can see coming from the east and the west, so I'm thinking she's already taken care of that. The other issue that is of great concern is the speed of the people coming out of the park. There is one sign that says 10 miles an hour, and that's just as you're very first coming into the park. After that, there's no more signage. The average speed on that road is 30 to 40 is my best guess. When people are doing around 10, we wonder what's wrong with them now, because they're going so slow. So what really encouraged me to come here is on Easter, we kind of had a little incident. I had all my children and grandchildren there. I had 4 grandchildren crossing the road, ages 3 to 16. And a man came up out of the park in a pickup truck pulling an empty trailer, and he honked and screamed at the kids to get out of the road, get out of his way. He honked so loud, the 3-year-old fell flat on the road. That's when he actually started screaming, "Get out of the road, get out of my way." 16-year-old, and now they're all crying, picks up the baby, and they all get off the road. I couldn't even get across my deck and down and around fast enough to get a license plate number. But this happens a lot. They honk, they speed. I actually was coming across the lane, and a guy was going really fast last summer, and I said, "Hey, slow down." You know what he did? He backed up into my yard, spun his tires, and then bolted out. This is the kind of thing we're putting up with. Summer's coming. It's going to get worse. I'm actually afraid for my grandchildren. We're to the point now where we're making sure an adult is with them when they're crossing that road. I did buy the little green men with the red flags that you see like in front of daycares. They've been knocked over. The flags have been stolen. Hope says, how do you change people? I don't know. But that's why I'm here. You guys are the town board. I'm hoping you can put your minds together and figure out something to slow down traffic on that road. I don't know that another sign will help, another speed sign coming out of the park. I suggested speed bumps. Hope didn't think people would like that. I don't know, but we've got to slow these people down. Somebody's going to get hurt, and I'm afraid it's going to be one of my grandkids. Any questions for me? Sergeant Miller, I did get your voicemail, and I appreciated your response. I really did. And I believe you suggested putting someone there with a speed gun? And maybe that would...
I assigned a patrolman extra patrol in that area. They were there, they walked a half hour on that area already. I have to do a little research in that 10-mile-an-hour zone sign to make sure it was adopted by the town board to make it issuable for citations, but you will see a marked squad there quite often when they're working.
Okay.
So they will be in the area. The other thing is I have, or will be contacting the city of Lake Mills to see if I can use their speed board in that area.
Oh, that'd be
So
awesome.
we can put it up at times.
That digital thing?
The digital speed
Oh,
board.
yay.
Either theirs or the county's.
Excellent.
And I will be putting that up there. So you will see that there as the summer gets a little bit closer in there.
You're welcome to put it on our property.
Sure. Well, we got park property. We can stick it there, but we'll put it in that area.
Okay.
So you will see a larger police presence there.
'Cause-
And if there's violations, it will be issued citations.
Okay. I'll take any help I can get.
Do the A-strikes use the road, like to get to their driveway? Do they come through the park to get to
Yes.
their road? And you guys pretty much always keep that clockwise pattern moving, right?
Jerry comes in and through the park entrance, yeah, and then goes into his driveway. Our driveway's on County
On
B.
County Highway B.
So we don't worry about that. But Jerry, yeah, he and Kathy are awesome.
Okay, well, I understand your concerns. I hope the
Thank you.
signs will help. Like I said, I don't know how we fix people. I don't think that speed bumps are appropriate with boat trailers. I think that would be a real problem.
It was just an idea. I don't know
I
what
think
to...
it might drive you crazy to listen to people break and bump
Well,
and
that's-
hang over that. That
That
might
could be
drive you crazy too.
true. That could be true. I
I'm gonna say
just...
this to you, and you're not gonna like it, but you knew that you were gonna live on this one-way road, and you knew that you were gonna live next to a very busy boat launch.
Yep.
And I think everybody does down there. And I've said this to people who live next to other launches and parks. You know that there's gonna be that kind of activity there. And it's just kind of part of getting along. I hope that we can do some better enforcement. And I hope the signs will help. I would keep my phone dialed to the sheriff's business line and look for license plates.
Okay.
Isn't that the right thing to be doing, Matt?
Sure.
Reporting
Or they can
things.
call the town for if you're gonna call in like violations, unless it's something ongoing, if it's something you're gonna report and already go on, we can do the follow-up on that.
Okay.
You know, that's how
But
our,
if it's ongoing with a reckless driving and something that's occurring right now, contact the sheriff's department, so they send a deputy right
do you understand that part of
Yep.
how we have that 24/7 coverage from the sheriff's department, and they have a business line that goes right to the dispatch, and you can report what's going on, and they will have an officer in our quadrant of the county come in and take care of that. So we have that 24/7 coverage.
So if somebody goes whipping by me and I write down their license plate number, I call with that.
We'll call and make a complaint, and then see how it goes down.
Are they contacted then?
How's that work, Matt?
How's that work, Matt?
When you say like somebody was whipping by, where you think they're speeding, you're just thinking that they're speeding. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
You're estimating the speed. I want to tell you that I'm going to send a deputy probably out on
And I'm just saying, is there any way that they can be contacted and say, you need to slow down?
that. They're basing it off your observations and just for a speed. If they're spinning tires, they're backing in your driveway or on your lawn, they're causing damage, that's a whole different story. That's something that they will send somebody out immediately for. Because, I mean, people could stand out here and look at this road right here and say, that car's going a little fast. If people call those over
Yeah,
all the time,
I-
they'll never be able to take that value and actually do anything about it.
I agree with you, but there's a really big difference between 10 and 30.
Yep, I understand.
Really big.
That's why I think with the more presence there, we start to really make a statement there by having a uniformed officer there with a marked car,
Okay.
running radar, watching for the speed violations, plus the one-way, violations. I think that eventually it'll start to get out that we are sitting there and we are writing citations,
Thank you.
you know.
And you're the one that's in charge of the deputies on the lake? Or the officers on the lake?
Here I'm a township chief,
Oh, okay.
and work full-time for the sheriff's department. I'm a day shift supervisor of patrol division. That's what I do for the sheriff's department for full-time.
I was just going to compliment, because they're out there, they're so good. They've helped us a couple times.
Sure.
So, yeah, I just wanted
You will
to,
see the town department, and I'll try to get some
Thank
people
you.
there, try to get some hints.
I really appreciate your help. I really do. Thank you.
So Lori, I hope you won't
Yep.
go home, because down further on the list of new business is another issue for the north end, and I think you should stay around for that.
I sure will.
All right, your turn.
My name is, again, Stephen Weber. I'm 388 Sandy Beach Road. I'm here to discuss, if I may, the decision made at the last town board meeting to approve an application by the Pie Lake Association to build a marina on Sandy Beach Road. First of all, I was out of town and I wasn't able to attend the last meeting, and I was hoping that I could obtain a drawing of the revised marina application, which I don't have. I'm wondering if one might be available at this meeting for me to look at.
Copy. I do have a electronic copy.
Could you put it on the screen, please, if possible? while that's being done, perhaps I could continue.
Sure, go ahead.
My concerns remain about the proposed marina as it affects my property in particular. I don't mean to sound selfish, and I can't speak for my neighbors, but I think it affects them as well regarding our property values. But moreover, I asked my attorney to send a letter to the town board, which he's done. And if you haven't reviewed it or addressed it yet, I would ask that it be done so at this meeting. And as far as it goes, we could discuss the points of that letter if you like. But now, as I see this drawing on the board, I see that the town motion approved an 80-foot pier. That's not an 80-foot pier. So I'm wondering what it is that you approved last meeting and read into the minutes in this meeting. The minutes say that the pier is 80 feet long, which is this dimension here. It's clear that the pier is longer than 80 feet. It is not an 80-foot pier that you approved, regardless of other dimensions shown on this drawing. I think your approval last week is for something that is not represented by their application. That dimension, by the way, is not one of the objections that I guess I've listed in the letter to the town board dated May 8th. Sarah, if possible, would it be appropriate to put that letter up on the board, or perhaps perhaps you could tell me whether or not the board has received it and if they've had a chance to review it and consider it.
We're just reviewing it right now.
No, I just received it this afternoon, so they haven't seen it yet. I just brought it with me to put into correspondence as it was requested to be done.
Okay.
That was all that was requested.
Well, as you allowed me some opportunity to review the minutes from last week, I'll stand here quietly while you review that letter.
They're reading it.
The motion was made to approve up to 100 feet out, 15 boat slips, boats cannot exceed 20 feet in length, no leasing agreements allowed, and then it was passed 2-1. And I've had a chance to read this, so.
Seems to be in conflict with the application that says extending 80 feet and accommodating 15 vessels ranging in size from PWC, personal watercraft, I suppose, to pontoon. In any event, it appears that that drawing is in conflict with the town ordinance and the state ordinance and requires a permit from the DNR before you can make before you can accept an application to approve it.
Well, that isn't the way it was explained to me, that they would start at the local level and they would go further then and seek the DNR's approval.
Sure. Well, the reason I'm standing here is because I'm explaining it to you differently, and so is my attorney.
Well, explain it to me.
They need to get DNR approval
Yes.
before they bring it to the town board.
Does it matter?
I think it does. Since that's not in keeping with the state statute for pier ordinance.
I am the only one who was opposed to this at last month's meeting, and when Lee made the motion to approve the 80-foot pier, I stopped him in that motion and corrected him and said, the drawing shows 100 feet. And so later on, the motion was changed to 100 feet, 15 boat slips, not to exceed 15 foot of length of the pier, and no leasing agreements. We then voted on that. I was the only nay vote. I understood that they would go with our approval on to the DNR, and then that there would be a comment period or a hearing in front of the DNR.
Okay.
And then I don't know exactly what happened here last month, but it seemed to me that there were absolutely no people who had written the 6 letters we had the month before opposing the pier. They were not here. Only the people that were supporting the pier were here. I can't explain why these guys were voting the way they did, but I am still very worried about that mini marina being installed there. And when this does come for DNR hearing, I will give my personal opinion on that. I have no fear of that. But I don't know what went on down there prior to that, that none of your neighbors who were opposed to this were here last month to say that.
That's not correct. That Some of us were here.
They were here, they
There
were.
was, but there wasn't a lot of comment coming up because there was one person who was holding the floor.
And I will accept responsibility for that. I did let the discussion go on for quite a
I
while.
understand, I understand.
Because I wanted them to be able to hear each other and what they had to say.
I understand. And like you, I can't say what actually happened last month either, because I wasn't here.
Well, you
But-
could
but
view
what I'm
that at
asking
any
you to-
time on the
but
internet.
what
All
I'm
of our
ask-
minutes are on tape and they're all on the internet.
Our meetings, do you mean?
Yes,
The minutes weren't on the internet.
the meeting itself.
Oh, the meeting itself.
Recording is on.
Okay. What I'm standing here now to do is ask you to reconsider that decision from last month in light of the objection that I brought before you today and now you can say this is just my opinion and it may not be correct, but I'm asking you to reconsider your decision from last month based on the my facts, based on this information that suggests the town board did not have authority to make that approval last month.
Oh, we were pretty much hornswoggled last month because the guy who is the water reg specialist was out for a month. Tried 3 times that week to call him, could not call
I
him.
understand. I
I
understand.
don't know if that's really the case, that that's how things work.
I understand. And I'm not here to make a big problem. I'm hoping we don't have to make a big problem out of this. 2 months ago I was here. It's probably no secret to you that I strongly object to this plan. So I don't want to make a big problem with it, but I'm prepared to do so.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else want to make a comment? You can have the floor. All right, we're going to move on. Item 8, applications filed, review of those applications. A is the discussion and decision on a request to hold a special event by the AIDS Resource Center for Wisconsin for AIDS Ride, Wisconsin, on July 30th, 2017.
They did not respond to my request for a phone number or anything else, and they are missing some pieces of the application, so
Yeah, I
Okay,
see
we'll just
that.
let it
Skip
go.
it.
Item B, discussion and decision on a request to hold a special event by Catamaran Racing Association, Wisconsin, for Rock and Roll Regatta on May 20th and 21st, 2017.
JJ is available by phone.
Okay. You guys got the application?
Yeah, and he's done this before. The only thing that, I can see, he does need to get a certificate of insurance. Did he talk to you about that at all?
I noted it on my piece of paper here. I wondered if you guys wanted to make it contingent on that or something. I can certainly handle that.
All right, I will make a motion to approve the Catamaran Racing Association of Wisconsin's Rock and Roll Regatta on May 20th and 21st, 2017.
I will second it.
Oh, wait,
Oops, yep.
Yeah, based
with the
on-
caveat that he used certificate of insurance. Now a second.
Second.
Any other discussion?
10 to 3, yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's all
Okay.
weather dependent too, you know?
I'll get you copies of all this, Matt.
Okay, it's earlier.
All right, any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the racing regatta on 5/20/17, coming up pretty fast, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, same sign. The regatta is approved. Item C, discussion and decision on a request to hold a special event by the Cambridge Community Activities Program for the Lake Ripley Ride on July 29th, 2017.
I have a representative available by phone, and they've told me the certificate of insurance is on its way.
Okay, good. Otherwise, they have done this a couple, 3 years now, and they seem like it goes off uneventful, so I'll make a motion to approve the Cambridge Community Activity Ride for 7/29 from 7 until 2, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And I'll second that. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the ride, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Item D, discussion and decision on request to hold a special event by the Tyranina Brewing Company for Tyranina Oktoberfest Ride on September 16th, 2017.
This one is missing fees on both of these too, by the way. But the map, so they don't, I think it's described or explained in here about that.
Yeah,
And she
so-
said if we have to kind of hold it off until there's a map, she understands. I told her that to make sure she doesn't have any traffic going in both directions. She's
Yep.
got that written on here.
Yep.
She just basically wants to get the date in the books. On
What's
the
your
book.
pleasure, then?
I would think that as soon as they know what the route is, and I hope that you would be able to probably approve that route, correct?
Okay.
I mean, we can even chat about it a little bit too, I suppose.
Yeah, when it comes a little closer and she has it set, we can bring it back up.
Otherwise, I'll make a motion to approve the Tyranina Brewing Company's October, let's see, is this the Oktoberfest? Yeah,
16.
October bike ride for 9/16, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And I'll second that. Is there any more discussion? Just wait to see the route.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Can we go back one step? My question is, what, if any steps, is the board going to take relative to Steve's question?
Actually, public comments means exactly that. It's public comments. We really cannot answer that question. What we can do is we can put it on the agenda and talk about it next month and revisit it, but we really can't answer.
Because it's not on the agenda, we can't discuss it this evening.
Okay. It will be on the agenda for the next meeting.
If that's your pleasure.
Yeah.
But there would need to be an action item attached to that.
Yeah. Yes?
Is it possible for a member of the community to make a motion?
Not during our board meeting.
The reason I
It's
ask,
so glorious to be an elected official in this
Yeah.
township. I'm telling you, it's just a
It's-
glorious thing.
You hate to deliver that, but that's just,
we mentioned that it would be on the agenda if that's my wish. But I'd asked when I was at the podium for you to reconsider your decision. It's pretty clear that was my wish, but I don't know how to get to the official point of asking you to reconsider it if I can't make a motion.
Well, this board
Seems like a catch-22.
motions within itself. The agenda is established by the clerk and I. If there is something that a citizen would like to have put on the agenda, I would certainly consider that, adding that to the agenda. It seems to me in this case that there are two people here that you should ask that question to personally. And then maybe you'll have your answer of whether this could be or should be reconsidered.
Would they be two people sitting at the?
They would be two elected officials in the town of Lake Mills, which you can clearly see by the vote how things went.
But again, you can't
Yeah,
discuss
still,
it
we
until
can't
next month.
discuss it. I
We-
mean, you can
Then I
ask
would
them.
ask Superintendent Peterson and Superintendent Schroeder to reconsider this issue or inform me how it is that I may ask for official reconsideration.
I think that's good. I don't think we need to say any more. I appreciate your concern.
Yeah, me too. I do. I really do.
Okay, moving on. Item E, discussion and decision on a request to hold a special event by the Tyranina Brewing Company for the Tyranina Run on November 4th, 2017. Same deal, no route, right?
Oh, yeah, we
Yeah,
have
there's
it.
The route is the same.
Just the fee.
So
And- All right,
I'll make a motion to approve the special event by Tyranina Brewing Company for the Tyranina Beer Run on November 4th from, it says 11:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m.
I'll second it.
is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the run, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. All right. Item 9, old business. Opening bids and discussion and decision on ditch mowing. Oh,
That,
so official.
We have just one? Or-
Well, we have
two.
to,
Oh. Oh, okay.
Picture the track.
pictures. Oh, we like tractors.
Oh, okay. So they do have a boom mower too.
Who's this?
Wolf.
Oh, out of Waterloo?
Mm-hmm. So before we do anything with these two bids, I would like to know what kind of work has been done with the tractor since our last meeting.
I have not done anything to it. I had looked at it a couple different times, but I was waiting. I was going to ask you tonight exactly
All right.
what you want to do.
Who was out there mowing then, or how do we get, looks like someone was mowing on Sherwood.
I think some private individual did that. I was
Yeah.
a little knocked off my seat
As,
too.
as a matter of fact, I commented when we were tendering the sprayer down, I said, somebody mowed the whole roadside.
wow.
Wish they keep it up.
I don't know how far it goes, but. I
Wish
would
they
ask
pick up
as
the
far as-
trash
All the
then
way to
too.
the first property on
Yeah.
your side.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought, it must be one of those.
That's what
first-
retirement does to you.
Okay, Ford tractor, so it'll be $1,500 for the year. If we drive with a 6-foot cutter, that would be $75 an hour, okay.
Is that the spec then, the, like one of the two cuttings in the spring?
Yeah,
Well, and these guys have a 15-foot mower. And as you see, Glenn has a couple different options there. Which is nice to know because we could contract him to do some of that flail mowing like on London if we'd like to. I think it gives us some options on what we decide to do with the tractor. So, this is what I sent out.
Yeah, oh, I have that.
yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been mowing in the spring about 10 and a half feet. Because it's a 63-inch mower, and you make 2 passes. So this one here, if they have,
84. What, sorry, this one's 84.
yeah, I thought this one here. Where does it say? Why is it- So the road, yeah.
He's got a
2
15 foot.
passes. Oh, wait, who wrote it? Did you write that?
That's my writing.
Oh, sure.
He has a 15-foot mower,
Oh.
that wing mower.
So then that's gonna be,
Twice as much as what you've been mowing.
well, not twice as much. Or 4 so let's see, that he is per mowing.
That's 3,500. So this is 5,800. You're getting 8 more feet. Or getting
Did I tell you what I gave Sharon to do?
The other thing is, yes, about this is, you know, it's great, but then it's a per hour, which obviously that could be time. This is really pretty much what we have.
That's pretty much what you have now.
It's probably not what's here.
Oh, hi.
This stuff here is Glenn's. He has those certificates.
So is it you having this 1 pass, or is it 2 passes in the spring?
New tractor would be 2 passes. Generally, like in our water woods, it's about 12 feet is about all we get. Usually in a town, very seldom ever get beyond that.
Right, yeah.
If it is, somebody that's probably mowed already on it, so.
We kind of got the same situation where not everything is off form real nice. Some places you're gonna be lucky if you get 1 pass.
Yeah, it's pretty hard, you know, when you let yourself, the road goes like this for 4 feet, then it goes like this for a couple and back up, and
Yep, yep.
any more over a 5 or 6 foot more, I mean, you usually can't even fit it down in there, it's pretty hard, but I've been mowing roadsides for the last 35 years, so different townships, and I brought along a little list of the last 5 years, if you'd like to see, to the town of Waterloo, what it cost them if you were interested with my mowers, but
You've been doing some work for Town of Waterloo with
Yeah.
this more, yeah, because you did Mulberry Lane, I think you did that
Yeah.
one down there.
yeah. I bought that, I kind of learned now what to do with that. I took on too big of stuff when I first started,
Yep,
and it's anything over about 3 inches or so, it leaves too much debris.
yeah.
And what I've been doing, I got a Velvy chipper I put on the back of that, and if it gets too big, then I run it through a Velvy chipper. I stop and
okay.
pick it up and throw it through, so we don't have that big branches laying around on the
Sure.
ground.
Perfect to use on London Road.
Yeah. Especially with this,
I got that regular flail mower on the back now, so I mow grass as I drive around, and look for brush to cut, you know,
yeah.
do 2 things at one time, so.
Then, right after Memorial Day and before the 4th of July would work, and also right after Labor Day and before the 1st of October, or end of October, I guess.
Waterloo usually took around 50 hours to mow, so it's a little over a week or so.
No, what's your pleasure, gentlemen?
I was just gonna ask you.
No, I'm not on that committee, you are. I did all this other work, now it's your turn, make your decision, and I'll see if I support it.
Wait.
Honesty is always the best policy.
I didn't hear what the bids were on the other bid.
Sklitsky's had a bid here for $3,750 per mowing. So that would be, what'd you say, 60?
Oh, 35, that's 3,500, sorry.
Yeah, 7,500 for the year.
And the Wolf bid is,
Oh, wow, yeah, he
5,800.
knows what that is.
yeah, but the rest of the world doesn't.
5,800 for this. And then $75 an hour for this.
Yes.
And what were we paying, about 6 for this wages and others?
Yeah, we're not.
4.
Oh, that must have been with maintenance.
Maintenance stuff are between 6 and 7, yeah.
Well, by the time you put the fuel in it,
Oh, yeah.
what's your pleasure?
Hey, I'm up for it. It's my job easier.
Well, I know that. Definitely gonna make your job easier.
So what do? We just let the other tractor sit for a while, we still repair it?
I guess that decision needs to be made.
Yeah. That's why I didn't do anything. You know,
Yeah.
you change the oil and have it all set and ready to go.
Because I'd be open to just go with this for a year and see what
Yeah,
happens.
that's what I was thinking.
All right, make a motion. We can talk about the tractor at our next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to approve the roadside mowing by Wolf Sand and Gravel LLC for $2,900 per cutting, for a total of $5,800 for the spring and fall. Also noting that there's a $75 rate for a flow mower, as requested by the town.
I will second it.
All right,
Can I have that paper?
yes. Is there any other discussion? Photos, all this fun stuff.
Okay, oh, I get it all.
Hearing none. All in favor of approving the motion as stated, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. Mr. Wolf, you are now mowing for the town of Lake Mills, and I would like it if you would take a look at London Road for a possible flail mowing job. It was brushed off 2 years ago, almost 3, and it probably would need to be treated with herbicide afterwards, but we can talk about that later.
Who seconded that motion? I'm sorry. missed
I
it.
did.
Thank you.
Lee made the motion.
Yep, I got that.
Thank you for coming, appreciate that. Yes, sir.
How many hours did your mower have to take to do it? Approximately?
Usually, Sarah, you might be able to answer, I think it was around 100,
I
something.
don't remember anymore.
Summers around there. You know, the fall was generally a little bit longer.
Right, can you move back farther?
Yeah, and then because you only make those 2 passes in the spring, that last pass, wherever possible, it was
Right.
pretty
All
nasty.
right. Yeah, like this year, now, it depends on the weather. You know.
Oh, yeah.
It's totally
yeah.
on the web. Last year was a real heavy grass growing year, so this one might be too.
Are you going to be operating yourself, or do you have an employee that's?
I'll drive it.
We would probably need to set up some time that we could go out on a road tour a little bit. So you could kind of take a look at some of the brush Hope was talking about, and some of the roadsides, because we have a couple of them where we've done some road maintenance too, that the shoulder is close to the flow line, and you kind of have to be a little bit aware of, you know, like just making that one pass.
Right up there, Fort Worth, when we were down in Sharon's, and I see there's some nice meteorites fell in there.
Yeah, but you get a little help from the locals, you know, once in a while they leave a transmission or two. So,
We should do that though, Glenn. We should get together and take a little drive and look at all that stuff. And then we should also talk about a strategy for overnight parking, which we've done before. Like, if you're mowing in Sharon's neighborhood, you can stay there. You're mowing in Dave's neighborhood, you can stay there. We'll work that out, okay?
Sounds good, thank you.
Keep your cell phone handy. Item B, update on sand sweeping. I guess I'm the one to give this. I was in charge. to take a day to supervise. We did the sweeping of the Shorewood Hills neighborhood, Elm Point, mid-April. Did a first pass, and it became evident that we would need to do a second pass. No bills have come, so I don't know exactly how much that cost. He did, you guys all approved the $2,600. I don't know where it'll come in. But it did seem like that machine that he had did a nice job. He spent a lot of time with a guy on a Bobcat with a broom, because there were so many areas that were so inundated with sand for so many years that really was a big payoff. So I'm happy that that is completed. A lot of people were very grateful and expressed that to me, maybe to you too, huh? So I think that was a good step. I guess we'll wait to see what the bill is going to be. C, discussion and decision on the PWC lift. Sarah, do you think you can pull that email up? I went over and saw Rob's Performance Motorsports, and after our discussion last month about the PWC, I met the day after we met with our city manager, who said that we could be extended a shoreline space to lift the PWC out of the water. Maybe you could go down and go to the lift, the site.
Right here?
Yeah, just to give you an idea of what it is. So it's a shore station. I showed this to Matt. He seemed to think it was okay. I just, at the very last moment today, got a pricing on it. This is called a Swift Lift, and it is, you better scroll down and find us a picture. It's just kind of a contraption that
Is that it right there?
has these legs that, and a winch that sits on the beach, and you can pull your personal watercraft up with that. And this would be okay with our city manager. He thinks he might get some flack from the DNR for the number of boats that they are permitted, but this would be a public safety feature, and so he thought that would be okay. He has quoted me a price for the 12-foot model, which you see in the picture, of $1,696, and a 15-foot is $1,969. A cover for the PWC, which we decided was almost essential, with a discount, comes to $237.36. The list price was $249 with a $25 discount, plus the sales tax. I suppose we wouldn't have to pay the sales tax. So we'd be paying
$220.
$220 on the whole deal. I think this is the best way to go. I said to Matt, as long as our city manager is willing to extend this to us, I think we at all costs need to take him up on it.
How long one do we need, Matt?
That's a very good question. I wish I could answer that.
Yeah, and I don't know either.
I don't know on PWC. We've used it for the last couple of years. So I have to measure it. It's probably 15.
I think there's a, if you want me to grab the, I think I know where the sheet is. It says the specs.
Okay, because that's really basically what you mean to know is how long it is.
Yeah, yeah.
15. 3-person, yeah. That's
Oh, okay. So then the value of the PWC compared to the boat, I suppose the PWC you probably can get there faster, right?
There's a couple of advantages. One, you're not as visible, meaning that you could obviously catch violators easier.
Yeah.
It's like a motorcycle on the road. The other thing is, if we have 2 officers on, it gives you 2 crafts instead of 1.
Yeah.
If the boat does go down, which we had happened, I believe, 2 years ago, we had to have the DNR assist us
Backup.
as a second backup. The issue with it was, is trailering it is really a pain for the guys.
It's a 3-person
So
thing.
just hopping on the boat. If it was down at Sandy Beach, it's easy for them to deploy it. Because they park the squad down there, and then they just walk over and get on the boat, and one would get on the PWC.
Do you think that hand winch is going to be easy to operate?
Don't know, I've
Fast
never
and efficient? Never operated?
Never operated one of those wherever, no. The other thing is sometimes the rescues are a little bit easier at PWCs, pulling people out of the water. We had to use one of those. A very heavy set lady that we had to get out of the water at one time. It was easier to get her up on the drop down ladder.
Sure.
Or was that chance for both? I think it would be used more, obviously, if it was down at the beach.
If it was there, it certainly would be more secure. We talked about that
Yeah,
last
and-
month.
All your employees end up in the same starting spot.
Right.
Yeah, and they could work as a team. And it would be a lot swifter to get that thing out on the water. The salesman at Rob's Performance Sports said that he had sold one of these to a guy who had a PWC on Washington Island, and of course, no pier there. And he said that he bought one of these and that it was the clear beer. They could easily pull their personal watercraft off of Lake Michigan and get it stored so that it wouldn't be storm damaged. I think they'll work with us on this. I don't,
It must be like deep anchor.
Yeah, otherwise you'd think it would, when you went up there, that it would,
Fall right over, right?
yeah.
I can't tell you
I
that.
believe, and I'd have to check into it, that also we should be able to get reimbursed over the 5 years.
Yep.
I have to check into
Oh.
it.
No,
But it should be.
definitely be
sure, yeah.
reimbursable.
I think she said, no, I'm thinking of you. There's a new minimum,
Did they raise it?
yes.
Is it two, or is it?
Do you remember what it was before?
Yeah, it was close to the, it was
Okay.
close to 2,000.
Okay.
That sounds right. We maybe don't get that back in a year, but, or 70-some%.
I suppose
We
there's
could
no
share-
second there.
No,
Share some of the cost with the city.
Well, that's how, we would run it through the boat patrol audit,
yeah.
and then whatever we don't get reimbursed for, then we split that remainder with the city.
Right.
Yeah. That's already in place.
Well, I kind of think that's the way to go, guys.
Yeah,
Then you make a motion to buy the 15-footer, or is that what we?
I think so. I think that I will make a motion to purchase the cover for the PWC and the 15-foot shoreline lift, not to exceed $2,400. How's that?
Sounds good.
yeah, sounds
I'll
good.
He'd probably give us a pretty good deal. And you have a
Who
second?
seconded?
I second it, yeah.
Okay.
Is there any more discussion? Thank you for helping me get this going. Thank you, Matt, for reviewing this, and thank you, Steve Wilkie, for extending this to us. All in favor of approving this motion, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, same sign. No one on the Pie Pier offered us a slip last month either, so. They didn't. Item 10, new business, discussion and decision of amendments to the schedule of municipal fees. That's what it was,
Oh, did I
fees,
miss something? Oh, yeah,
deposits
that
and bonds.
is. Look at that.
To raise the hourly wage of election workers. You guys see some of the correspondence that Sarah had?
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
And being the leaders of election work, I wondered what you thought.
What do I think?
She wants a
I
flat fee for 75
think-
bucks and only work an hour.
For me?
No, not for you. You're
I'm
married to
stuck.
that.
I think that I think that most of my election workers, just not the chiefs, the election workers, are perfectly happy. And there should be no change to that. I think that we kind of floated the idea of $10 an hour out to Carl, and he was all over that. I think that if we were going to give them $10 an hour, I might lean on them a little harder to know it better. I think that I don't know if they're paid more, they'll digest it more, or if, I don't know which way that goes. You know what I mean?
And most of these election workers are putting in how much time?
Most of them do about an 8-hour shift.
And they also have training
And they
responsibilities.
also have lots of training
And how many of lots of
They have
hours?
to do 3 hours to get certified, and then they have to do 6 hours every 2 years to stay certified. And then there's whatever they need to study up on for each election if rules change.
Which is why I would lean a little bit for the idea of the flat fee of $75 and then pressure them to do all the training and learn all the stuff and be accountable.
What's $75?
That's gonna get paid less.
Yeah, that's,
You're getting paid less than $10 an hour. They're getting paid for the
$7.50
training.
an hour.
they get paid to be at the training, but they get $8 an hour to be there.
Okay, then my recommendation is to go to 10. So
What
Carl
about-
can buy a green shirt.
I think that would
What about the chief then?
cheap.
That would be the chief.
Yeah.
Only the chief. I don't really think, I don't know. You can change the other one as well, but I don't think.
I don't think
they care.
anybody's unhappy.
No, in fact, a
some of
couple
them don't even cash their
insist-
checks.
Well, and a couple of them insist on not being paid at all.
Yeah.
They volunteer.
So,
But that's a big then gap between,
That's
still
quite a
what is
bit, yeah.
What?
we could change it
75?
to 8 and 10. That sounds
Yeah,
reasonable to
that's-
me.
I was kind of thinking maybe a little bit.
okay,
I admit when I first started and I saw the 725s, I thought, oh, they must have just started or something. I didn't realize that they'd been helping for 10, 15, 20 years at the same rate, basically.
it was really good to review the fee schedule too. It was nice,
Yeah.
thank you for printing it out. Well, I would make a motion then to increase the election worker wage to $8 an hour for regular election workers and $10 an hour for election inspectors,
I will second it.
Chief inspector.
chief inspectors. All right, there's a second. Is there any discussion?
Thank you. They will be happy on behalf
All
of my
in
workers.
favor of
Thank you.
approving this, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Don't let this fee schedule go too far away because we're going to be changing it again pretty soon. Thank you. B, discussion and decision on striping and possible food truck at the North End Boat Launch. I guess what I should do is read the letter I got. The county are partners in the North End Boat Launch, which Joe Namer, County Parks Director, reminds me continually that we have a partnership there.
I found a file.
You have it?
That's, yeah.
Joe has said, "Hi, Hope, thank you for meeting with me this week to discuss the possibility of Jefferson County contracting to sell food in this location." This is the North End. "With government budgets being tight, we are exploring ways to bring additional revenue into the park system. Our proposal could benefit the public and private business. I would appreciate if you would put this on the proposed agenda for the town of Lake Mills. We are thankful for our relationship with the town and desire to only strengthen it." So what they were proposing is, and Joe and I did meet at the North End, talked a little bit about drainage in the parking lot, talked a little bit about the future of the park. We did not talk about speed or any restrictions, but I do think that the public needs to know that the town of Lake Mills owns and operates the North End Boat Launch, but the rest of the park and the parking belong to the county park system, and they maintain that. And so what they are asking us for is, first of all, permission or our thoughts on what it would be like if they had a food truck come into the North End parking area, not the launch area itself, and sell food at different occasions or different weekends. My first reaction was, huh?
Yeah, well,
What kind of food truck, can I ask? Are you talking hot dogs or ice cream?
Ice cream, hot dogs, pizza, tacos, whatever could be on a food truck. You know, most food trucks, it's kind of a trend right now.
Have you done that before?
Never done it at the North End. We did have the hot dog guy set up here in front of the town hall a couple of years. He did that for a
Just
whole
one
year.
year, yeah.
1 year. Guys like that, those trucks are fully inspected by the state and must be permitted. Everything has to be permitted. They, I guess, would be at their own, it would be at their own discretion how much profit they would share with the county.
So they charge probably a fee, just to be there for the day, or
I would imagine, yeah.
then we get
Who would charge the fee?
the county,
No, I think what they are looking to do is have the food vendor give them a portion of the money that they would,
That makes sense.
Wow.
yeah, and I don't know how that really would work out, you know? I guess that one thing that I was thinking about, whether I thought this was a good idea or not, was, again, what are the public safety implications?
Depends on the weekend.
You
Some
know,
of
I
those,
think it being in the parking lot, I don't think there's
there's
as big of
some
an
weekends
issue.
though, those
Yeah.
lots are jam-packed.
Yep, it's full.
When you say parking lot, you mean the one across coming from me? That's where he wants to set up?
As far as I'm concerned, it seemed a little far-fetched. I thought, well, you know. But then I also have experienced going downtown on Sunday morning, Saturday morning, and seeing many car and boat trailer combinations in the parking lot behind Greenwood Bank. Most of those guys going for Chinese food. So when they come to town, they gotta eat. The other concern I had was what kind of trash would be left behind, but the park staff does a pretty good job. I think they have maintained really well during the Brew with a View events, those kind of events. I understand that the county is under pressure for new revenue streams. I'm not exactly sure whether it's a good idea or not in my book, but I guess I would not have any strong objection to them trying or setting something up.
I was just gonna say that. Maybe just let them try it for a year and
See what happens.
it could be a hit. Or if not, they.
You know, I said I hope that he would not try to compete with other local festivals. You know, I think, doesn't the Trek 100 go through there, and don't they have a rest station there at?
It's in the
Yeah,
park
but they're not
itself.
gonna, they're not
Yeah.
gonna pay for the food that they can get for free on the other side.
Yeah, and then what about the traffic, you know? Could be a busy fishing day at the same time. I'm just thinking about the traffic implications of it. But I don't have any strong opposition to that idea. The next issue really is the striping, and they have asked for some help with the striping. And I guess I was kind of all over that. We have a huge amount of money in our boat launch fund, which we just tapped into again. I think that it would be a good use of our money. It is unenforceable if the lot is not striped. And both Park Lane Road and the North End parking lot need to be restriped for safety reasons and for capacity reasons. He's proposed, Kevin Weissman, the superintendent for the Parks Department, has proposed to do the work himself. They would ask us to pay for, and this is crazy, the rental of the striping machine from the county highway department and the cost of the paint, which he did not think would exceed $600.
Which really doesn't sound like a bad deal because we always have to maintain Park Lane ourselves anyway. So if they're gonna share in that cost, and when that parking lot was put in, that was a shared cost between the town of Lake Mills and Jefferson County Parks. So it's their parking lot, but we shared in the cost.
So I'm going to make a motion that we support the county in the striping to not to exceed $600 for the North End
Our
lot
share or total?
total. For they'll do the labor, we'll pay the expenses. We have to rent it from the county, that's kind of what I wanted to get that point across.
Revenue stream.
So I would motion to, not to exceed $600 for the striping of both Park Lane and the North End parking lot. That'll be my motion.
I will second that one.
Is there any more discussion?
You gonna make the food thing a separate one?
Yep. Hearing none. All in favor of supporting this striping initiative, please say aye. Aye, and all opposed, the same sign. And then I guess a simple letter I would write to Joe to tell him that and say that we have no huge objections to a food truck, that if they would like to try it, we would evaluate it after that.
I wouldn't have no objections to it. The only thing is when you start talking about the safety aspect, they'd have to figure out, or put it into a remote, and obviously it's not location, but if you figure kids, people eating, drinking, and walking and people trying to park, I guess would be my only concern. Otherwise, I mean, I don't have no, I mean, hey, you know, if an entrepreneur can go in there and make a go of it, and it helps them and the county, it's fine. That'd just be my concern
About safety.
I'm sure you got good insurance.
about it. Yeah,
You ever see a propane leak on a food truck?
that,
They blow pretty good.
that I suppose.
I bet you've seen that, haven't you? Okay. If you will allow me, I will just draft a letter to that effect to Joe and say, just give it a shot if you can. I think it's a little late in the season to be trying to line up these food trucks, but I guess if he wants to try it, what the heck. He didn't ask us if we wanted to have a beer party at Forest Park. He just went ahead and did it. Okay. C, discussion and decision on county road aid and bridge aid.
Do you want one first there, or you take over for?
Well, really, there's nothing to discuss here. I went to the county road meeting. I turned in our bridge aid
Okay, for Newville?
for Newville. I've already sent that in, so that should be no problem. And next year is our year for 1 mile of road. We should be able to get our cash back out of the county next year. And the way we have our roads scheduled, I'm hoping that we can use that on the Fourth Lane project. We can apply it someplace else if we need to, but
So is that gonna be 1 mile, or is that gonna be $52,000?
it's gonna
Or
be,
this was, last time was, the trip was 26.5 with matching funds to us.
well, you know, we have been socking money away in the county fund.
Yeah, can you use that bridge aid for that though?
That's not bridge aid. The other money we've been socking away is not bridge aid. It's,
Bridge aid is reimbursement.
this,
This is
The 37,
it's like a fund that we have sitting there, and it's a
Yeah.
matching fund.
and that's just 1 year.
Right, yeah.
They're holding probably close to $20,000.
Yeah,
I did too, just for your information, get the go-ahead from the county. They are going to do the survey of Fourth Lane, so we'll know a little bit more about where everything is located there before we get started on designing.
Is that a place that they can apply this money? I know there's parameters, there's certain things, certain types of repair that they will use that money for. Okay.
So that's really the update on that. We don't really need a motion on that.
This one we do if we're gonna apply for it.
What is it?
for the resolution.
We gotta pay the $37
Right.
million.
So where's
If
the
we're gonna get the
resolution? Is the
match.
resolution in the, okay.
No, that's their resolution. We just have to decide if we're gonna participate or not. There.
The local share is $3,788. The county share is $3,788. So total, $7,576, and they're holding how much of ours?
19 something.
Yeah, so we got like $25,000.
Well, ours and theirs, that's the
Yeah.
total with the matches. Because they haven't bid on any of our stuff in, what, 3 years?
Yeah, probably.
And I did send them a mowing bid, no reply.
I sent them the road bids too.
Oh, good.
So this needs to be decided by June 30th if we want to participate in this program.
Well, I think we should, don't you?
I do too. So, make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the matching funds with the county, what do you want to call it, for $3,788 for county share, county share, I guess.
County share road.
Yeah, county road aid resolution number 2005-02.
Okay. Is there a second? I'll second it. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of applying for the county road aid, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all opposed, same sign. Discussion on city composting idea. I had a long discussion with Mr. Wilkie. Things that we discussed were First thing he brought up to me was the idea that they are starting to participate in a study done by Mead and Hunt to formulate what they're going to do for their composting needs. And what he told me is that if you begin to decide to accept food-related compost items, it changes the rules of the game. And I said that I would ask my board to discuss this, but I felt that we really were in need of leaf, lawn, and brush kind of composting. It's a pretty well-known fact that people from the city are supporting the needs of the town when it comes to composting, because many people use the compost site who live in the town, even though we are providing the leaf pickup and the brush pickup semi-annually. Are you interested in all in participating in this study?
I think it's a good thought. I know we've checked this avenue out a couple different times, but sometimes when you start looking at the costs that get sent our way, and then the DNR, there's reimbursement from the DNR for composting. So I guess one would have to look at the whole plan of
Yep.
exactly what's it's going to cost. And, you know, I don't think we really need to be interested in paying for accounting and all those other things from experiences from other city activities.
I think that I will make that clear to him, that we are interested in
Don't use my name, though.
the study and that we are willing to hear what they have to say. I think that would behoove us. The other item that we discussed was the cul-de-sac on Highland Road, which now there are some skipping around, some properties that are in the city, some that are in the municipality, and as you know, there is a huge rut at the end of Highland Road. They proposed that they would like to fix that to the tune of about $2,500.
Oh.
And I said I wasn't sure how we would feel about that. So you can think about that till next month. I don't think that's happening right away. We do have a shared agreement on Highland Road as far as plowing goes. We had a very long discussion on ETZ, on the areas that Steve is looking at that he will annex into the city in the next 5 years. And both Sarah and I said, I am really very in the dark about our boundary agreement. I don't know how it reads. I haven't looked at it. I haven't seen it. He sees things a little differently with different eyeglasses than I do, but he has agreed to meet with us and to go over what they're doing as far as annexation and where the city boundaries and the town boundaries lie. This also has quite a bit to do with the lawsuit we're involved in with Body Lane, because that too is bordered by a city property now. Part of Body Lane is touching the city. They are also involved in the lawsuit. So as soon as we finish all the questions that we have for our attorney about the lawsuit, which Sarah and I would like to zip up this week so that we can get them to Lee, and he has another week to work on them because they're due back to the court by May 21st, I believe. We thought we'd sit down and go over a little of the boundary agreement and the annexation strategy. The process and how it would affect some of the properties within the town. And so Sarah and I are committed to doing that, and if anyone else would like to go along, I'd be tickled.
When is it?
Well, we haven't set it up yet. We'll set it up.
I have a question. Do the town residents have any say in the annexation process?
It's kind of one of the things I want to ask.
Not really.
It appears not.
Not really.
We just are served with the papers that this property is being annexed.
But I think that's part of our boundary agreement, that we said that we would not contest those things that they had in the boundary area. I wasn't here for any of the development of that. I don't think we've had an ETC meeting, and the answer to your question is not really.
I can see where the city would love to annex the whole lake shore.
Sure,
Oh, right, yeah.
sure,
yeah.
sure.
In some of those cases, more than 50% of the residents would have to petition for that to happen. But again, we'd have to check that out.
I guess what we're looking at now are the little jaggedy boundaries around the north end on the road, like I said, Highland Road, and
We've had it come up.
Shore Acres, Tyranina Park, across from Tyranina Park, where Body Lane is. Those are all kind of jiggity-jaggedy areas from the supermarket on over. Some of the properties are in the town, some are in the city, just like you are on Sandy Beach Road. And I guess there's a lot in question out there. I asked some questions, and I really did not understand the answers, so I guess we would need to go forward and see what information the city manager will provide us. The boundary agreement kind of stretches the town over the barrel on this. Mostly, I always thought that the boundaries would hold because who would need any kind of service from the city if you have your own private well? But it seems to Mr. Wilkie that whatever he wants, he can have, so. Part of it has to do with if your house was destroyed by fire or wind, or you decided to tear it down, then he would force you to annex in. And that's what he's doing with the lot that is across from Mo's. There's an empty lot across from Mo's. It's in the town, touches the city because it touches Tyranina Park. The people that wanted to buy the lot were told that they would need to annex into the city to do that, even though the closest water main is over 3 blocks away on Highland Road. So it's just a matter of, it's like a little chess game, I guess is what I'd say. So I guess we need to find out a little bit more about it. I need to review the boundary agreement. Do you have a boundary agreement in your possession, Dave? You think
No,
we could find one?
I think that lot that was wrote by Jim Schmeiser, I think,
Back in the day?
back in, what's her name?
He wasn't on the board.
Their city attorney. He wasn't on the board, he was working on the A to Z agreement.
Yeah. So that's kind of the update on that. I enjoy meeting with him. I get a different perspective. I understand the struggles that he has, and I think he understands the struggles that we have. And that's probably all well and good. We didn't talk about the fire department, so. Town board expense sheets. I got one for driving all over. Heck. I just got mileage. Sarah, 11 correspondence.
Back. I think I sent all of you the new map for the Track 100.
Yep.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
They have removed the two-way traffic.
We did.
They did.
Super. Except for it comes by you now, Shannon.
And she's also wondering if some of the potholes on Airport Road between Highway O and Pool Road would be patched before June 3rd. Any answer for that?
I think we can probably get that done.
Okay.
Well, but
It's gonna take a lot more to fill those potholes.
it's much worse from Cool Road to Newville Road. Those on top of the hill are
Yeah.
really, really bad.
And their road, Sharon, is they'll be coming down Airport and then come around a Cool Road.
Yeah, they're not gonna go up that hill.
I
Right.
know.
Right, yeah.
You're just gonna have to tolerate that. You're gonna have to tolerate
For us
that.
residents who live on
Why
that
do you fill
road,
potholes on Newville Road?
the right to bike.
It's awful.
Do you want me to read that since I had it in correspondence? Into the record?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Letter dated yesterday regarding the approval of the request for the pier extension by the Pine Lake Association. Dear members of the Lake Mills Town Board, at its meeting on Tuesday, April 18th, 2017, the Lake Mills Town Board approved a request for pier extension by the Pine Lake Association. On behalf of my client, Stephen W. Weber, owner of property located at 388 Sandy Beach Road in the town of Lake Mills, I am writing to object to the town's approval of the request for the Pie Lake Association's proposed pier extension. The grounds for objection include the following. Number one, the standards in the town's ordinance providing for exceptions to restrictions on the size and placement of piers are vague and cannot be reasonably applied to protect riparian rights. Number two, to the extent there are standards in the town's ordinance that can be applied to guide a decision on the size and location of piers, such as that proposed by the Pie Lake Association, the town arbitrarily and unreasonably applied those standards in granting the Pie Lake Association's request for pier extension. 3, the placement of this pier will detrimentally affect neighboring riparian property owners, including Mr. Weber and other lake users in the town. 4, this proposed pier extension requires a permit from DNR, and town action is premature without such a permit. The town board should act to repeal and or reverse its decision to approve the Pie Lake Association's proposed pier extension. I request that this letter be made part of the record at the Lake Mills Town Board's May 9th, 2017 meeting. Very truly yours, James I. Stotts. We have a reminder. Are you aware of Act 211? It's January 2nd, 2018, building inspectors and clerks are going to be made to, or one of the two, have building permits online, information online. So we mentioned last month looking at the building inspector's contract, and this is definitely something that needs to be considered in the bids that we are looking for. Okay. There is going to be a meeting here next week, the 18th, about the I-94 bridge replacement project. It's just a public informational meeting held by the DOT. It starts at 5 o'clock, goes until 7, if there's enough discussion, I suppose, for that.
So what, it says 5:30 is the presentation starts, so then it starts at 5.
Oh, I was told 5, but I didn't have this.
Yeah, it says 5, but I think
Oh,
that's
good.
just, it's open.
I wonder why I sent that to all of you and not me.
It's just an open hearing, but then the presentation is at 5:30, the way I read it.
Oh, okay, yep. And I will
It's
put
open house
this,
format.
I will put this out on the
Yeah.
website as well, if you can give me a copy of that
And then it's
application.
short.
I can get here.
Okay, got it.
5 o'clock.
Okay, I don't know if you all realize there's a recycling, we are a recycling responsible unit. So I work in conjunction with John's Disposal. They give me a report of how much recycled material they have collected for us. And then I have to put that into a report for the Department of Revenue. No, Department of
Administration, probably.
DNR. the
Okay.
DNR. And that's how we get some grant money. It's, we get a couple $1,000s a year toward that effort. There's a meeting coming up at the end of the month, a presentation for responsible units. I'm going to see if I can go. If you guys want to go, let me know. One thing that they're hammering on right now is ordinances, and I did pull ours up. I don't know if we want to actually dive into it a little bit more and make sure that it's up to par, probably, compared to what they're requiring to have in there. Like every other piece of money from the state, the grant money is more tightly scrutinized, so if we're not, to the letter, we may not be able to participate in that forever. Focus on energy pamphlet. I know we've done that here before. I don't know if there's a need to revisit that or not. If you remember, a couple months ago, I mentioned something about the DOT project on the interstate, the barriers. I got a whole bunch of information from the person at the DOT who is in charge of that, diagrams and all sorts of things. Just informational purposes is really all that he ever intended. If he has a lot of opposition or a lot of questions, he would do a public meeting like they're having for the bridges, but he sent me all sorts of information, so I can put that on the website as well. I know somebody was here last month asking about that. Workshops, so you all get the WTA newsletter. The spring town official workshops are happening right now. there was a reminder that came out about those, if you want to participate in any of those. There's another UW Extension local government training pamphlet for things that are happening all the way through the summer. The State Highway 134 is being worked on in the Cambridge and London area. There's a bit of information here. There's a meeting in Madison on May 15th,
What are they doing on that?
pre-con. What are they doing on that road? Grading, base aggregate, asphaltic pavement milling, HMA pavement, pipe culvert, storm sewer, concrete curb and gutter, pavement marking, and signing. A lot.
Yeah.
Bringing it up to snuff.
And there actually, it does involve us a little bit because at the end of Britsky Road, because that pitches up and there's a lot of problems with the winter time getting traction and all that. So that's going to be, they're going to be moving a lot of fill around. They're going to be putting in a 55-mile-an-hour curve, and Britsky Road is going to be elevated up, so you're going to be coming up onto a big flat spot.
Do
So
you know the timing of this?
I do not. They were talking the middle of June, but
Because we have
I
some
don't-
rides that are going
yeah,
through there.
So I don't know.
Okay. I can at least tell those ride people that to contact somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I have another Assembly Bill 189, Department of Justice grants. I sent this to you and Matt to see if there was any grant possibilities for us. It's just a notification that these are available. So, Matt, you said you'd look into that, or okay? Okay. Public records training. You know about this one? There is a rule that we all must watch this 10-minute video by July 1st of 2017. So when we get together on May 31st, or
Oh, we'll have
board review,
entertainment. How
we will
fun.
be watching that. Public listening session.
Just bring the popcorn.
That's your job, Dave.
Okay.
Okay. You remember the comments I made about in-person absentee voting in November and how it got kind of crazy? Apparently, the Waukesha County Clerks Association felt the same way, and they're holding some listening sessions over the next few weeks. So I'm kind of tuned in, watching
You're
that.
going to be going.
This one was on May 1st, but the next one, I'm tuned in.
Okay.
Okay. And then the last piece is the latest annexation that we just talked about, just the work that we received. It's in process, and
Okay.
here we
That's
go.
the one across the board.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Phew. Okay.
Busy time of year. Everything's gone.
Okay. Meeting schedule. We got to discuss this a little.
Yes, yes.
May 13th, which is this Saturday, is the spring yard waste pickup on the Monday garbage route beginning at 6 a.m. If you need more information on how to prepare your materials, please go to the website for that information. They're not doing it on Saturday, they're doing it on Monday.
No, they're doing it Saturday for the Monday garbage route. It's
That's how
only
that
for,
runs.
yeah.
Okay. So that is Saturday the 13th.
That's on Saturday, yes, this Saturday.
We have needed to cancel two of our meetings, May 17th and May 31st, Board of Review and the Open Book, which are rescheduled due to a medical emergency that our assessor has. And so the Open Book has been rescheduled to June 21st, 4 to 6 p.m. The town board will still need to meet on May 31st to open the bids on our road projects.
We also have to actually open Board of Review and then postpone it to a later date.
Right, and so we also need to view this film that Sarah has for us.
Yeah,
I
I'll do
guess
an actual agenda for it.
what I would like from you guys is what would be a convenient time? We were talking about 8 o'clock because we would be finishing our Board of Review. Do you want to keep it at 8 o'clock, or do you want to go earlier? Do you want to move it to 10:30?
At night? It'd be better for me.
I know it would be, so I said it.
I mean, 8 o'clock, I
8
got
o'clock.
kind of excited about that. I think that if that works for you guys, that would be better for me.
Okay, 8 o'clock it is then on the 31st.
Which date can you do the Board of Review then, the actual? The 17th or the 20th of July were the dates that he threw out there. Do either of those work better?
Either day is.
I heard from you
July.
two, of July.
Either day is fine.
Yeah, but either day is fine for me.
And it would be the same thing, 4 to 6 or
6 to 8.
6 to 8. Okay, look at your schedule, Lee. You're the one in question here. I'm not coming anyway.
Yeah.
I got it out of it once, but
Other meeting schedule, June 6th, 8 PM Planning Commission, June 6th, Joint Rock Lake Committee, 6 o'clock, and June 13th at 8 PM is our next regularly scheduled town board meeting. Anything else? Hearing none, I would motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.